Hi, welcome back to Lean and Define. This is Mozzie, an ASM certified personal trainer. So the question that I have today that I jotted down was, should I work out every day? And there's different things about this. So one thing is that you want to build new habits. When you start exercising, you want to build new habits. I personally think that it's best to do this in a slower manner. So I think slowing down the process and gradually building up how much time you spend in the gym is better. I've noticed most of the time when people don't do that, when they try to do it all at once and they go like 0 to 100 and then they want to be in the gym like 75 days a week, I've noticed that more often than not, they tend to fail doing that. I think they get overwhelmed. It's just too much. They're just like, man, I wasn't even in the gym before. Now I'm in here like every day. Like suddenly they're just maybe they're not comfortable with it, and it's because they're trying to do too much like all at once rather than letting the process like gradually build up. So I say slow it down, start small. The other thing is I recommend, like, for the kind of goals that that I look at when it comes to this channel, like somebody wants a leaner body, they want a leaner physique, they want some muscle definition, things like that. I think 2 to 3 days a week is pretty good. For many people, 2 days may be enough. 3 days can be better. It just depends on how far you're trying to go. If you're thinking like I want the best physique I can possibly get, still within that whole like lean look and everything, I would say 3 days is pretty good. But I still think 2 days of resistance training is a pretty good way to go. So um, if you're gonna do like steady state cardio as well, which I've covered in a separate video, um, if you're trying to add in some sort of cardio or steady state cardio, I would suggest at least initially timing that like after your resistance training workout, so you're not increasing the number of days you necessarily stay in the gym. So let's say you start with 1 day a week in the gym, and then and that's just resistance training, and then maybe a little bit of time goes by, maybe a couple weeks goes by or a few weeks go by, and then you add in some cardio after that resistance training session, and then you can gradually add in a second day of resistance training. This is just the way I'm kind of thinking about it right now. And then you add in a second day, and then maybe you add to that second day of resistance training cardio afterwards too. So now you're going to the gym 2 days a week based on this, and you're doing cardio twice a week after those resistance training sessions. So, and then if you want to be in the gym even more, or you're like, I'm not getting the progress that I want as quickly as I want, you can add to that, maybe add another day where you just do cardio or something like that, or maybe you go for a run or whatever it is. You can kind of add to that process. But again, I say slow things down and allow yourself to build habits over time to where it feels natural, to where, let's say it's a Tuesday and Tuesday is a regular gym day, and let's say you're on a Tuesday and you can't go, and you kind of feel like, oh, that's weird. I'm used to being in the gym at this time. Why am I, where it's weird for you to not be at the gym. So that's kind of where I think you kind of want to get to where it's kind of a natural thing for you to be at the gym on a Tuesday or a Thursday or a Wednesday or a Friday or whatever days you go. Okay. And then now, days that you don't go to the gym, if you still want to make sure you're burning calories, you're getting into a calorie deficit or whatever, you can like increase your movement in other ways. So it doesn't have to be at the gym. Maybe you just increase your step count. Maybe you use that off day not only for recovery, because I think that's an important component, that you have days where you just don't exercise, but you can also, for example, use that day to run errands that make you move. You go shopping, you do this or that, and maybe find ways to increase your movement on those days. Also, maybe park further back in the parking lot, take the stairs, or do whatever. But these are just some things you can do, I think, to still make those off days so that you still feel like you're working towards your goal, even though you're not at the gym. So that's just some tips that I had as far as like, you know what, you don't need to work out every day, There's other ways you can also increase your movement, but also just gradually increase the amount of training you're doing. Ultimately, I don't think you do need to work out every day. If I didn't cover that earlier, like you do not need to work out every day. Obviously, it depends on your goals, but I do think that it's important to have rest days, and I do think that you should be able to figure out ways to get to your goals, generally speaking, without having to be in the gym every day or working out every day. There's the things I wanted to cover on this topic. Stay active.